What do we do when we feel like, from a political or ecological or social standpoint, we are moving through a kind of darkness where none of the choices we have before us appear to be good? What do we do? Well, I want to bring a poem today that has some imagery that I think might help in this particular case. And it's actually called Traveling Through the Dark. It's maybe the most famous poem ever written by William Stafford, the great poet William Stafford. And the poem goes like this. Traveling through the dark, traveling through the dark, I found a deer dead on the edge of the Wilson River Road. It is usually best to roll them into the canyon. It is usually best to roll them into the canyon. That road is narrow. To swerve might make more dead. To swerve might make more dead. By glow of the taillight, I stumbled back of the car and stood by the heap, a doe, a recent killing. She had stiffened already. She had stiffened already, almost cold, almost cold. I dragged her off. She was large in the belly. My fingers touching her side, my fingers touching her side brought me the reason. Her side was warm. Her fawn lay there waiting, alive, still, alive, still, never to be born. Beside that mountain road, I hesitated. Beside that mountain road, I hesitated. The car aimed ahead, its lowered parking lights. Under the hood purred the steady engine. I stood in the glare of the warm exhaust turning red. Around our group, I could hear the wilderness listen. Around our group, I could hear the wilderness listen. I thought hard for us all. I thought hard for us all, my only swerving, then pushed her over the edge into the river. The car aimed ahead, its lowered parking lights. Under the hood purred the steady engine. I stood in the glare of the warm exhaust turning red. Around our group, I could hear the wilderness, Listen, I thought hard for us all. I thought hard for us all. My only swerving then pushed her over the edge into the river. That's the poem Traveling Through the Dark by William Stafford. Again, probably his most famous poem. And it is really a poem about life when we are literally traveling through darkness, literally unable to see the way, and yet having to work with as much wisdom as we can muster, having to act in a situation where we would rather not act, having to put one foot in front of another, and coming up with the wisest decision we can in and around a situation where nothing seems to be a good choice. I think we find ourselves there right now, politically and socially and ecologically. And sometimes we need the imagery of a good poem to help us center ourselves and help us be as wise as possible. When we must act, even though we are traveling through the dark. Thank you so much for your listening ear. Until next time and next poem, please take good care of yourself. And if you can, take good care of someone else.